If you have been working through these tutorials since the beginning, you should be familiar with quite a few different tenses now. Up until this point, though, we've used each tense in isolation. In the real world, tenses are not used in isolation. We'll have multiple tenses in most of what we say. In fact, we even combine different tenses within the same sentence. That's the case in English, and it's definitely also the case in Spanish. So in this video, we're going to talk about different ways to combine tenses, or better said, we're going to take a look at different examples of using two or more tenses in the same sentence. Here are three sentences in English that give examples of using different tenses. We have, I used to only play soccer, but now I play baseball and soccer. We have, John left yesterday, but I think he is still traveling. And we have, we're watching a movie right now, but we're going to study later. Let's take a look at each of these sentences individually and figure out which tenses each sentence uses. Again, we have, I used to only play soccer, but now I play baseball and soccer. If we're talking about something that we used to do, hopefully you remember that that requires the imperfect tense. And if we say, but now I play baseball and soccer, that's going to use the present tense. If we were going to rewrite this sentence in Spanish, then those are the tenses that we would have to use. Let's walk through the steps for that. I used to play, imperfect tense. The verb for to play is jugar. If we're using the imperfect tense, we're going to cut off the AR and we're going to add our new ending. Since the subject is yo, we'll go with jugaba. Again, we're going to use jugar for to play because it's the same verb there. But in the present tense, we'll cut off the AR, we'll add our yo ending, which is O in the present tense, and this happens to be a stem changer, so we'll make it juego. Then the only thing we have left to do is fill in the rest of the sentence. You may not know all the words for this, but let's take a look at it anyway. Yo solamente jugaba al fútbol, pero ahora juego al béisbol y al fútbol. So one long sentence. Again, the imperfect tense here for I used to play, jugaba, and the present tense for now I play. Let's see what we have in our second example. John left yesterday is a completed past action. So that'll require the preterite tense. But I think is present tense. And then we have one more verb here. He is still traveling. That's present progressive, something that's currently ongoing. So if he left, that comes from the verb to leave, which is salir. I think comes from the verb pensar, to think. And is still traveling, we need the verb viajar, to travel. For salir, if it's preterite tense, like we said, we're going to cut off the IR. We're going to add our new ending, salió. Present tense, again we have a stem changer here. We'll cut off the AR, it's I think, so we go with the yo ending, but it is an E to IE stem changer, so that gives us pienso. If we say he is still traveling, remember the present progressive has two parts. A form of estar, which in this case will be está because it's he, and then the gerund. Está viajando. And again, then we would add in the rest of our sentence, which would give us something along the lines of John salió ayer, pero pienso que está viajando todavía. Fairly long sentence, three separate tenses here, but they can all be used together, and it gives us a more natural sounding sentence. And our last example would be the same thing. We're watching a movie right now, that's something that's happening right now, it's present progressive. But we are going to study later. Our going to study is ir a plus the infinitive. That gives us in for the first part, estamos mirando, we are watching. And for the second part, vamos a estudiar, for we are going to study. Fill in all the other words and we get something along the lines of estamos mirando una película en este momento, pero luego vamos a estudiar. So your takeaway from this video should be that different tenses can be combined to get your intended point across. We don't have to use these tenses in isolation. We get to mix and match them however we feel like best suits our needs.